What do you think of gold as an investment?
I think it's a good store of value. It's never really an investment, but it is an investment when they're printing as much money as they are. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to account, it's denominated in dollars, and dollars are being printed on a scale of 1 trillion extra per year or whatever, right? The interest is 1 trillion or what have you. So then it becomes an investment to some degree, especially when you have these nefarious activities going on between China and this. Now, Trump's got the balls to be able to, steady the ship, so to speak, which I'm very impressed through the tariffs, through everything else. But when you get a idiot like Joe Biden or whoever, Ocasio-Cortez in there, you can't give head to lower the deficit. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to do serious shit. And they don't even have the comprehension to find out what's going on. And that will mean that the gold price will go up. And then gold will be an investment. It will be the only way you could get some penicillin if the whole collapses and you have to rummage through the wreckage. You never know what can happen. Or you could just be better off buying the S&P 500. But the good thing about gold is you get to hold it in your hand. Yes, sir.
Have you made a lot of money from appreciation of your inventory?
Yes. It saved the day.
What do you mean it saved the day?
I mean, I've had pieces that I've made that cost, I manufactured $300,000 worth of shit. And to scrap it shortly after you manufacture it, it'd be $250, but the gold price went up from $2,000 to $3,500. So now I could scrap it for $300 plus $1,000. So the that didn't sell, I scrap and melt and get my money back, which is amazing. Man, the people for gold did 10x in the last 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you're running a jewelry store with gold chains, it was the most profitable business you could have had, because your inventory, you bought $1 million worth of gold chains. If you didn't sell a single gold chain in your store, you had $10 million worth of gold chains. If you did sell them, you took the profit and reinvested it, you had more. Not a lot of businesses where you open up a business filled with inventory and you didn't sell a single piece and 20 years later you're up 10x. So that is, but it's not a business people think about because they're not expecting, people to rob trillions of dollars on Afghanistan war or whatever. They don't understand. They don't comprehend how these evil forces that are really actually there, the stealing of it and whatever else is actually out there, man.
Why do you think that people on the street are so clueless about the price of gold? Those are my favorite videos when you go up on the street and you ask people how much something is worth.
Yeah.
And people are clueless.
Yeah.
They have no idea what the value of gold is.
That's not their everyday lives, man.
But should people know at least what the price of gold is per ounce? A rough estimate, because it's money.
People should be like angels, but forget about what they should be doing. It's, what they're knowing. And, money is a game and everybody's responsible for playing it smart. You know what you're doing with money. Everything you're doing is thought out and thoughtful. And I watch your videos and about this, about that. And, I love it. So, and you play the money game and you give out the advice to the money game as well. And if you listen to yourself, well, why don't they watch the iced coffee hour? Why don't they listen to Graham? Well, why not? Why are they sitting there watching to a Cardi B shaker? Why are you sitting here and, going to the strip club and twirling on a pole? Why aren't you studying? I mean, I'll tell you why, because something's wrong. That's why.
I feel like it should be taught in schools.
Listen, man, a lot of things should be done, man. It should be definitely taught in schools, and we should track down the trillions of dollars that was stolen, and we should do this and we should do that, but we're not in the world of what should be. We're responsible for our own lives and the lives of our family and the lives of our loved ones. The people, and that's that. We don't really quite have a real society. This is not 1954. You know what I'm saying? This is a society where more or less every man for themselves. The government barely functions to me, and the less of it, the better. In some community, Elon Musk has a school for his kids and, his neighbor's kids. That's probably exactly what you imagine it to be. Why are we using chalkboards? Why can't there be just a touchscreen where the teacher has, lesson plans that are already the best of the best? So engage the children. Why are they sitting at desks that they're the same ones that were, from 1933? Why aren't their desks have little basic touchscreens where they could just write notes and they could register their You know, why not? Because the people that are running the Board of Education are, that's why. If they weren't, they wouldn't be there.
There should be classes about how to use ChatGPT, classes on how to negotiate, and you have the students negotiate against each other.
Here's what should be. Graham should go run for office and implement what he's thinking. Is that what's going to happen?
No, because I just tell people to watch it on YouTube.
Exactly.
Realistically, YouTube is better.
Yeah, that's
a better
right.
resource, so you may as well learn on your own.
And the real secret is that you're responsible for your own, and it's an arcane system. Everything you're talking about is just an arcane system, and anybody who believes in that they're going to go to school and go to college, and that might work for them. I don't really know. But whether you're going to school or not, if you're not being responsible and learning on your own, you are playing yourself. You know what I'm saying? And you're giving your advantage away. And that's that. And, you know, like if I had the tools, YouTube was barely out when I was a kid. I was just the internet, and I did what I could with it. I started a business. But if I had the ChatGPT and I had that and I had the energy I had back then, I would have really loved it because it was really the source of information. Like this ChatGPT it's got millions of dollars in value for anybody, for any given moment, for any given person. I'm extracting that money right now. I had a thing where I was using, I put Grok on one phone, ChatGPT on the other, and I made Grok have ChatGPT generate image after image after image. I put them in a shoebox together, and I come back. I'm about to drop that video when I edit it. I've just been lazy. I come back, and it'll have 30 new pieces of jewelry for me or what have you. You know what I'm saying? And there's two AIs talking to each other, forcing the other AI to generate images. So there's value there. And, you know, and listen, we're all talking about the education systems. It's because people are retarded, Graham. And that's going to change in 5 years, in 6 years, you know? And as all these AI guys say, we get just anybody watching this, if they want to better their lives, which is the only thing that we could offer you as 3 people sitting here, they would have to get an advantage on AI for the future because shit's going to change, right? Any advice for me in the jewelry business? You're a smart guy. Let's see how good you are at giving advice on your own iced coffee hour.
I would say for the jewelry business, your social media is fantastic.
Right.
I'd say that you could probably teach other people how to do that. I think you could expand your own business quite a bit because of that. I don't know if you want to get in the retail business. To me, that doesn't sound as exciting of dealing with so many employees and people.
Right.
I like the customization aspect of it because you could charge a premium, but I also acknowledge that you don't want to spend your time designing one thing for one person.
Right.
I would almost argue, man, that there's a benefit to like, I'm seeing less people my own age and younger get into jewelry and watches to some degree, yes. And they're more into like digital assets like Bitcoin and crypto.
Interesting.
So I would argue that maybe Bitcoin over the next 20 to 30 years is going to take some market share away from the people who buy gold as a store of value.
Sure.
There's always going to be some of it.
Yeah.
But I would almost argue like, hey,
which is good news.
Maybe take like 10% of your business and just Bitcoin it.
Right.
And
you love that Bitcoin, huh?
I do.
Yeah.
But you know what? If it goes to 0, 10% of your business, it's like someone stealing from you.
Yeah.
Fine. But like if it hits, I think there's such a
listen, what do you
lopsided opportunity. It's like
it's $100,000.
Yeah.
Okay, it's $1 trillion market capitalization. How much more can it hit? You're going to put in another.
Yeah, but gold's 20 trillion.
Yeah.
You don't think it can hit?
I'm not thinking it. I'm not. Yeah. It's not there to hit. It's not there to hit. It's if everything collapses or there's serious problems with the dollar, it's there for that to spring you to the next move. It's there to keep you safe. That's it. It's not there to hit. It's just there that, you know what I'm saying, you had your money, you saved it, and now, you know, 10 years have passed by and you could buy something, you know, you didn't depreciate your capital, and that's that. It's a go between moves. It's perfect for me because I could stock gold chains. If I don't sell them, I win. But for you to have a kilo in the safe sitting there doing nothing is not the best thing in the world. You're much better off buying Taiwan Semiconductor over the course of the next 10 years or something like that, something that manufactures something. But as far as Bitcoin is concerned, you know, it's not like we're arguing I'm saying gold is better. I couldn't give a less about gold or any of this shit. You know, for me, it's just a game to get where I want. You know, what do we want? What you're doing, a beautiful home, a beautiful life, and stability. That's all you really should be shooting for. And you could do that a thousand different ways. Now, granted, it's much better to win, but Bitcoin's got $1 trillion market capitalization, $100,000. That means you need a whole another $1 trillion to make it 150, right?
Not necessarily. It's whatever the tradable value is right now. So it could be like you could inject 100 million into Bitcoin and have it spike the price if people are not selling.
Right.
And fewer people are selling. So you don't need actually $1 trillion to go into Bitcoin. If you had another trillion invested in Bitcoin, that could shoot up the price 10x.
Right. That could shoot it up 10x.
So my thought is that there's an asymmetric reward with Bitcoin that, let's say you buy 100,000, it could go to zero.
Right.
There's a chance it goes to nothing.
Right.
And you lose $100,000.
Right.
I'd say there's a higher chance, or even an equal chance, let's just say, of going to 1 million.
Why?
So you have a 50-50. Let's just hypothetically, you have a 50-50 going to zero as you do $1 million.
Yeah.
So to me, I'd take that bet with a small amount that I'm prepared to lose. Because if it's a 50-50, I'm cool losing it.
But yeah, well, listen, the way you explain it, sure, you can do that. I'm not into losing, personally. I don't want to even take a small bet, you know, on that end. I don't want to take a 10%, a 5% chance on any of that. I prefer to buy something like a Warren Buffett style, where it's actually producing something that's in demand and a profitable business. You know, if I'm going to buy a vending machine for $1,000, and people, you know, buy $100 worth of soda per day, and to restock it costs this much, and the soda costs that much, and you're making $25 a day, you know, then I know that vending machine is going to make me back the money and to be profitable after I pay off the $1,000 with the $25 profit per day after X amount of days or whatever. That's how I look at it. You know, I'm looking at, if I want to make money right now and I want to be good and I want to 10x, I'm looking at the next NVIDIA semiconductor. It could be AMD. They're doing something. You could ask your ChatGPT and your research. Taiwan Semiconductor, they're going over here. Trade wars cooling off. China's backing away in a little bit. That means that, you know, they're not going to do all that Taiwan and this and that. Now you could 10x your money nice and safe there, and that's the way I would go about it if I didn't have a jewelry business to buy a bunch of gold chains with. And the way I explain to people is, you know, buy your Bitcoin, and then when you're done in cyberspace, you know, rubbing pixie dust, you know what I'm saying, and you want to actually own something, then you buy yourself a watch with your Bitcoin and you buy yourself a gold chain around your neck, because your neck is real and the chain is real. The Bitcoin is just, you know, out there. It gets you the dollars. You get the Bitcoin to get the dollars so you could buy the or you could spend the Bitcoin on it, whatever. You want the actual that exists. You don't want a computer chugging away somewhere, processing.
But what I do like it's a global store of value.
It is.
Where around the world, people attribute $100,000 to this Bitcoin.
Yes.
And so you could take it with you anywhere. You could transfer it anywhere. And the more people buy into it, obviously, the higher the price. You could say that with gold, too, or you could say that with stocks.
Yeah.
But I could just see a scenario where Bitcoin captures 25% of the gold market.
Yeah.
Or companies take 10% of their extra cash and just buy Bitcoin with it.
Right.
Instead of holding it in dollars.
Yeah.
And I think that's enough to boost the price.
Right. Yeah.
But it could also go to zero.
Yeah.
100%.
No, that could happen.
I don't think so. But
that could happen. Listen, if gold goes to zero, I'll buy all of it, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not even a problem. You know, I'll have a gold castle and you could visit it and you pay a ticket in Bitcoin to come see it.
You lose 20 grand every time you polish it.
We don't know what's going to happen with this Bitcoin and AI. And that's that. You're a proponent of it. You love it. Why is Bitcoin any better than all the other? Why is Bitcoin any better than Haktua coin? Will we see, listen, the real question is, will we ever see a day when everyone's rushing for the door? Might not. We might. Because when people are rushing for the door, let's say people are dumping Amazon. If Amazon is $1 trillion market cap, you dump Amazon, I'll jump in there. I'll sell my whole business and buy Amazon, because I know Amazon is Amazon. But if people start rushing for the door at Bitcoin, it might also have that effect. It might be somebody who says, I'll buy all of it. And it seems like that because I could have never expected it to be solid at 100K, solid at 100K. So God bless all those people and whatever they're doing and how they're doing it. Now, my estimate is that a new technology is going to come around. This is not 2011. New technology is going to come around and really give Bitcoin a run for its money. And then people might lose out. And if it's me and you and it's 10% to some and we don't get the next Lambo or whatever, it's not a big deal. But if it's somebody with their life's earnings, they're going to be devastated. So you have to play it way smarter. I would suggest a semiconductor stock or even the Teslas. Whoever's making robots, whoever's making semiconductors, that's the one who's going to 10x or 50x over the next 10, 15 years. That's my idea. I don't know.